Following Sora 2, Google has also released a new version of Veo 3.1. Currently, the evaluation of this model online is somewhat exaggerated. We must rationally acknowledge that compared to Veo 3.0, 3.1 is only a minor version upgrade. Therefore, the quality of its generation will improve to some extent compared to the 3.0 version. But there will be no fundamental change. After many tests, we found that Veo 3.1 has seen significant improvement in sound generation and the synchronization of sound and image. Additionally, it performs better in terms of generating videos based on reference start and end frames and in video extension. Regarding generation duration, it also provides users with more options. The questions we are currently concerned about are essentially these. First, how to use it. Second, how is its quality? There are many ways to use Veo 3.1. First, you can use the model through the official Flow platform. This is of course paid. Furthermore, there are many restrictions on the user's IP address. Simultaneously, we can also use this model within Google's Gemini, provided you are a pro user. In addition, many platforms have integrated this model through API connections. For example, the official ComfyUI platform. Take a look. This is a node we see after upgrading to the latest version of ComfyUI. This node existed before, called Veo 3 Video Generation. However, in the current model selection, we now have the 3.1 version. Similar to 3.0, it offers the traditional generation model and a fast version. The fees are different, and naturally, the generation quality is also different. If you choose the fast version, a single generation will cost about 0.80 USD TWI. If you select the non-fast version, the cost increases to ***1.60 USD. In addition, some other ComfyUI cloud platforms have also integrated Veo 3.1. Take a look. The platform I frequently use is Running Hub. It currently also has a node called Veo 3.1 Text-to-Video. Of course, there is a similar node called Image-to-Video. These are nodes for text-to-video and image-to-video generation, respectively. The cost here is relatively lower. You can access this platform through runninghub.ai in the ComfyUI domain. Running Hub is an excellent online working platform because as soon as new technology and extensions emerge, it follows up immediately. You can register for Running Hub using the invitation link in the video description. This grants you 1,000 free points. Additionally, logging into Running Hub every day gives you a gift of 100 points. This allows you to try out your own workflows. Next, we will introduce this model comprehensively in two parts. First, we will analyze the examples tested by many internet users we currently see, examining the amazing performance of the new version of Veo 3.1. Second, we will actually test several highly representative prompts to see the difference between the buyer's show and the seller's show. I have collected many examples online. We can summarize the model's performance using the following keywords. Let's discuss the first keyword, realism. To demonstrate realism, we can look at different dimensions. Today, we mainly look at two. First, the simulation of cinematic footage, and second, the performance of realistic video. In cinematic shots, we can depict many scenes such as war, realism, science fiction, and horror genres. The images I am currently displaying are various cinematic shots simulated using the Veo 3.1 model. For instance, this warrior riding a dragon is a typical fantasy scene. Then there's the scene where the youth and the frog are walking and talking together, which is full of humor. There are also nostalgic old-style movie shots like this. They all perform excellently. This video is a common scene we often see in horror movies. As for realistic video, it emphasizes the authenticity of the scene even more. Take a look. Whether it is people, animals, or scenery, I think the sense of realism is quite strong. How do we evaluate the quality of a model in realistic scenes featuring people? I have a small tip to share. Observe the character's blinking status. Some models generate characters that do not blink. Sometimes multiple characters blink simultaneously. If you look at the video characters generated by Veo, their blinking status is very natural. Okay, next we look at the second keyword, camera and perspective. The camera here can represent a lot of content. First is camera control, which we commonly refer to as camera movement. Pushing in and pulling out the camera are commonly used techniques. Their performance in Veo 3.1 is smoother. In addition to camera control, another very important factor is perspective. Take a look at this video, which is a first-person single-shot video. In previous versions, we also frequently used such perspectives, but the usage scenarios were relatively limited. For example, we often used it for the driver's first-person perspective, viewing the changes in the surrounding scenery, but this one is completely different. Furthermore, when mentioning camera work, we must bring up the term single shot one take. Veo 3.1 has a feature called video extension, which makes achieving single-shot footage much easier. Look at this. This is a 4-minute long single-shot video. It was actually generated by constantly extending the video. You will notice that the character disappears in the middle, but when they reappear, the model's capture of context features helps maintain the character's consistency. Now, let's talk about the third keyword, advertising. Veo 3.1's performance in advertising is truly astonishing. Whether it is digital human advertisements or creative advertisements focusing on special effects, I think this model performs exceptionally well. Look at this ad where ingredients generate food. It left a very deep impression on me. Also, the video of the insect searching for clothes is truly creative. I believe that in the future, AI-generated advertising will pose a significant challenge to professional advertisers. The fourth keyword is reference video generation. The content involved here is also quite extensive, such as traditional image-to-video generation and our start and end frame video generation. The start and end frames in Veo 3.1 are more creative. Our previous models required a clear correlation between the starting image and the ending image, for example, needing to be the same character or the same environment to achieve good results. However, in Veo 3.1, there are no such restrictions. Let's look at a very interesting example of reference video generation. Here we provided 3 reference images, 2 realistic characters, and 1 anime character. According to our conventional thinking, it would generate a scene where the realistic character and the anime character appear together, just like the example you see now. However, when it truly generated the video, we found that this was not the case. The realistic character appeared in the video as the main subject of the scene, while the anime character appeared on a computer screen. This approach is also highly creative. Finally, let's talk about stylization. Veo 3.1 can generate not only realistic scenes but also videos in various styles, including traditional anime style, 3D style, and even ink wash style. Let's look at this tortoise and the hare video. Regardless of whether this video meets our expectations for the tortoise and the hare scene, I think many fairy tales in the future will be generated using models like this. Now, let's actually test a few examples to see how its performance truly is. We will first test a video generated using the text-to-video node on the Running Hub platform. The prompt here is a JSON format prompt. What does this scene depict? It is a shot from a surveillance camera where a dog is watching television. Suddenly, the owner comes in, startling the dog, which quickly turns off the television. This is a very dramatic scene and highly representative, demonstrating the complexity of the scene. Take a look at the performance. It is very accurate, whether it is the visual performance, the sound effects, or the interaction of the main subjects within the entire scene. I think it is excellent. For the following demonstration examples, we will switch platforms to the Gemini platform. My prompt for this scene was, 2 people are exploring a haunted house. We mainly want to see the performance of the atmosphere. You can hear the sound performance, including the feeling of the entire scene within the ruins. It creates a particularly tense atmosphere. I genuinely think the performance is also excellent. Next, we will explore a specific camera technique we call time-lapse photography. We generally use this shot when depicting plant growth, the construction process of buildings, clouds rolling across the sky, and busy city traffic. I think the overall performance is also very good. Now let's look at reference generation. I think the Veo 3.1 model has more imagination, or to put it professionally, its understanding of context is more accurate. For example, we now have an image. This image is very unique. A person is lying on the leg of a giant, beautiful woman. What will happen next? Let's see what kind of result Veo 3.1 gives us. Finally, the rope turns into a swing. Also, there is very good interaction between the characters. Furthermore, to solve the problem of inconsistent resolution, because initially it was a vertical image, it used an opening effect to turn it into a horizontal video. I think this treatment is also excellent. Finally, let's talk about advertising. I also tested opening a box reveals a world here, which is the effect of a box opening and turning into a world. Let's first look at its overall performance. I think this shows no significant change compared to 3.0. Now, let's test a more complex advertisement. Take a look at this. The overall transformation here is much more professional. After the light and shadow pass, the entire scene changes. This is actually an advertisement for a home DSE core magazine. I think it is also highly creative. Finally, let's look at an example of a facial special effect. It shows a girl whose face has many pieces of broken glass splashing out. It mainly embodies a kind of frightening feeling. I think this is also very good. Based on the examples online and our own practical tests, we still feel that the model overall is on par with Sora. In fact, many people online have tested Sora and Veo 3.1 using the same prompts. Let's first look at the video generated by Veo 3.1. Two girls are having a duel. I think the overall performance is good. Let's look at the performance of Sora 2.
震えてる？それともワクワクしてる？
勘違いしないで。駆られるのはそっちよ。
なら試してみな。
まだ終わらない。
There is a conversation dialogue, which I think is also good, but overall, they should be at the same level, right? However, Veo 3.1 has a major disadvantage compared to Sora. It is paid. Therefore, this is a factor that cannot be ignored in real-world applications. Alright, that is all for today. Follow me to become someone who understands AI.